Biology is squishy, and much like the things that it studies, it can be quite difficult to categorize. So this week, I've done a handy guide to the 5 levels, count them 5, of biology. I know, Eagle of Wisdom. I'm excited too. So in the old days, for something to get past the biology committee and into the magic Hessian sack of biology, it basically had to be considered alive. This seems like the least you could ask, but even that isn't a prerequisite anymore, which leads me into level 1. Molecules, otherwise known as God's Lego. Biochemistry, molecular biology, this is the stuff that is necessary for all living things without actually being alive in and of itself. There are myriad different molecules of all different sizes and complexities banging around the inside of biological systems, mindless but capable of creating the huge complexity of life through their interactions. Unfortunately for molecular biologists, experiments in this field tend to be long and filled with tedium. Generally they consist of slowly washing, filtering and separating before washing again, filtering and then extremely separating very small things that the eye can't see in machines which are so expensive that they can't be left unattended. It's also a massive task trying to understand complex biological systems from this completely bottom-up approach. Imagine trying to build a life-size 3D model of the Taj Mahal out of rubber jigsaw pieces with pillows for hands. Level 2. Cells, or possibility blobs. If you're alive, you're either one of these, or you're made of these. And it is disconcerting to think that you're actually a collective of other living things all living in relative harmony. But thankfully for us, our cells have become so specialised that they probably couldn't survive outside of us anyway. Since everything is made of cells, shut up, Eagle of Wisdom, most biologists have to resort to a little bit of cell biology at some point during their scientific careers. It's the scientific equivalent of bar work. It's necessary, it's unglamorous, and everybody does it. Level 3. Systems. Specifically, different collections of cells and organs functioning in a specific way to solve a particular task. Systems biologists tend to think they're a cut above the rest because they're wrestling with complex and important things, like how the hormones affect the kidneys or something. Now, I will concede that this is some complex science, far more than I can handle down in my little biologist's hole, but it does seem like a lot of it is based on assumption and computer modelling, and the diagrams are always very complicated. Anyway, systems biologists have come up with a lot of astounding ways for things to work, but they tend to have to wait for the tortoise of cell biology to catch up to find which one is actually correct. Penultimately, behaviour. This is how whole organisms function in their environment. Started off as zoology, which the Victorians were mad keen on, and some amateur psychology from anybody who felt like having a proper understanding of the human condition. These kind of merged together about halfway through the last century, and then got completely forgotten about in the rush of new, exciting iPad-style technology around the start of the year 2000. But now the pendulum has swung back, and you have all sorts of scientists hankering after a little bit of behavioural data, like the golden careerists that they are. Because to publish high-profile journal papers, you need a bit of behavioural methods. Unfortunately, most researchers have forgotten how to do them, if they ever knew, and probably couldn't even do them if they tried. This has led to a slew of recent behavioural studies, which are all about as disappointing as Eddie Izzar's recent stand-up. Final stage, population. Ecology, epidemiology, social psychology, and even behavioural economics come into this category. And now we're kind of perched on the edge of biology proper, looking down into the swamp of humanities, politics, and, God forbid, geography. Populations biology is a statistical whirlwind, which is about as sexy as I could make statistics sound. It's like Tasmanian devil with a scientific calculator and an insatiable hunger for regression analysis. It tries to draw conclusions about the most complex activities of inherently complex organisms themselves made up from the essence of complexity. Do not trust anyone who claims that they are able to explain it to you. Anyway, that's the scale. You can find it in the back of any textbook, hanging in the south wing of the British Museum, or carved in hieroglyphics on the east-facing wall of the Great Pyramid. In some of the next videos I'll be going into different aspects of biology in more detail, but if you have any specific questions, shout me out down below and I will attempt to artfully avoid answering your questions. Bye!